Once we got above that 130,000 CFS, we realized we needed to use a spillway too.
5 years ago today, history was made at Garrison Dam.
I'm Danielle Nottingham in Los Angeles. Coming up, the U.S. government is out with new recommendations for sodium in processed foods.
And a local zoo director weighs in on zoo safety. Good evening. I'm Lauren Kalba.
And I'm Tom Gerhardt. Thanks for joining us here tonight on KX News. It was 5 years ago today that the Garrison Dam had to open its spillway gates for the first time in its 60-year history.
And our reporter Ben Smith was there today, and he hears about that day 5 years ago.
Reporting at the Garrison Dam, Ben Smith, KX News.
Lindquist says at its peak, the amount of water released by Garrison Dam was only 1/6 of its release capacity.
Just eerie memories. Well, thousands of people who evacuated their homes in Minot and Burlington 5 years ago got good news on this date in 2011. It was a completely different tone from government officials and river managers on this day in 11. At a hastily called press conference, Minot's mayor said the crest projection for the Mouse River in Minot was now 1.5 feet lower than just 24 hours earlier when evacuations were ordered. The mayor said a helicopter tour had made him feel better about keeping floodwaters out of town. Even with that good news, thousands of people continued the hasty work of removing what they could from their homes on the possibility that the higher water might still arrive. And others, such as residents of Apple Grove, had already lost their battle. Meanwhile, more than 240 residents of Trinity Nursing Home were evacuated due to the flooding threat. But that threat never materialized. It turned out the river crested in Minot on Wednesday, June 1st, well below the tops of levees, although still the 5th highest crest on record on the Mouse River. Soon people were moving back home, but being warned to do so, knowing the river could still cause trouble later on. A warning that was all too accurate, since the worst flood on record was coming in 3 weeks.
All that video brings back a lot of memories. I flew with the
one.
National Guard to Garrison Dam 5 years ago and saw the spillway from the air. Pretty
Quite a
incredible.
sight.
Darrell joins us now, the first look, and certainly things a lot different 5 years later. Darrell.
That's right. Currently, we're seeing clearing skies, so mostly sunny to partly cloudy conditions across the area as of right now, and we're not seeing anything on radar in North Dakota. Now, moving forward, we are going to see a few more changes, included more rain chances, but as of right now, temperatures are in the 60s with a few 50s. It's 64 in Bismarck, 68 in Minot and Williston, and 64 also in Dickinson. I'll have a complete forecast coming up in just a little bit. Back over to the desk.
Thank you very much, Darrell. Well, for the first time, the U.S. government is making recommendations to limit salt in processed foods.
The FDA says it could help prevent thousands of deaths every year from heart disease and stroke.
Danielle Nottingham, CBS News, Los Angeles.
After a few recent accidents regarding animals and humans, Roosevelt Park Zoo in Minot is taking some precautions to keep their visitors safe. Recently, the Cincinnati Zoo, as you've heard, had a young boy in the gorilla exhibit and made a tough call when they ended the gorilla's life. At the local zoo, there was a young man who experienced a bear attack late one night. With these recent encounters, Roosevelt Park Zoo has polished its protocols. The zoo works with the police and fire departments, and depending upon the situation, they can take a course of action. Zoo Director Becky DeWitt says when accidents like these happen, the zoo is responsible for certain obligations.
I had USDA that came and did an inspection to make sure that our fencing was to code and that it was reasonable accommodations to keep our animals and people safe. So they did come within the following week after the bear incident.
The zoo's protocols are up to date and they are prepared if another accident were to take place.
Well, there's a growing trend of active desks in the workplace. From standing desks to treadmill desks, people are trying to include activity in the workplace. Central Dakota Communications brought in a treadmill desk last October. The office tracks total steps among employees in the office. Melanie Carvel is a physical therapist with Stanford Health in Bismarck. She says the first thing that happens with too much sitting is the slowing of our circulation.
If you want more, you can always. Our fat burning enzymes drop by about 90% when we're sitting. Our calorie burning drops significantly. We burn only 1 lousy calorie a minute when we're sitting, you get up and stand up and you burn 7 calories a minute.
Carvel says if a person isn't getting in the recommended 10,000 steps a day, they are at equal health risks of a person that smokes 2 packs a day.
A calorie a minute sitting. Didn't know that. Still to come on KX News at 5, why golfers want to avoid this bunker.
Plus how more women are getting hooked on running.
And Darrell's up next to tell us when we're in store for a warm-up.
You're watching KX News with Tom Gerhart, Lauren Kalber, and weather with meteorologist Dorel Weniger.
Good afternoon. Across the area today, we have been seeing gradually clearing skies. And as we look at satellite and radar, there is no rain showing up across the state. And we're also seeing mostly sunny to partly cloudy conditions. And our headlines looking forward include in and out cloud cover, but we will see some sunshine before our next chance of rain. That will be with a front that moves through the area Thursday night and Friday. So during the day tomorrow, we are going to start to see increasing clouds with a few showers expected as we go through the latter half of the afternoon going into the evening, but that'll be out west as the system moves west to east. But sunshine is expected with warming temperatures this weekend in the wake of this next quick moving system. Now, currently across western and central North Dakota, we are seeing mostly sunny to partly cloudy skies. And as we go ahead and look at Williston, mostly sunny conditions, a few hit and miss clouds, 68 degrees with a west wind at 12 miles per hour. In Minot, also seeing plenty of sunshine through the little bit of cloud cover that's remaining, 68 degrees with a northwest wind at 15 miles per hour. And in Dickinson, also mostly sunny to partly cloudy, 64 degrees with a northwest wind still in the teens, 14 miles per hour. And in Bismarck and Mandan, plenty of sunshine, some cloud cover with a northwest wind at 16 miles per hour. So across the entire area, we are seeing winds that are light to moderate, little gusty at times on the eastern side of the state. Those winds a little bit stronger, and most of us seeing our winds coming out of the northwest. But parts of western North Dakota already seeing that wind swing around to the west. We're going to see that wind continue to swing all the way to the south overnight as speeds calm down. But temperatures are ranging from the mid to lower 50s all the way through the 60s and to near 70 for Mobridge and Buffalo. Also, we are going to continue to see some warming. Not so much today. Today, temperatures are going to be close to where they should be for this time of the year. But tomorrow, that temperature comes up a little bit more, than even more so during the weekend. There's a lot more mild air and warmer air off towards our west. That's going to be rolling into play during the next couple of days. And satellite and radar does show that we're seeing hit and miss cloud cover, but no rain. All the rain associated with that low pressure system continues to move east and away from our area. So zooming in just a little bit, we do see that rain chances are very low. They're going to stay low until tomorrow night, and some sun is shining through, as we just saw with our sky cams. Now, Precision Cast set in motion shows continued clearing tonight. We are going to see fair skies with winds calming down, but already watching this front continuing to develop during the early morning hours. That's going to move over our area, and we are going to see rain chances come into play tomorrow night going into Friday. But you can see this is a very weak system that's rolling through. So scattered showers with a few thunderstorms, not everybody getting wet. Tonight, temps fall back into the 40s. It will feel cool with a light to moderate wind, still calming down. Swinging around to the southeast. Tomorrow, that temperature picks up into the upper 70s and lower 80s. The western fringe of our area will start to see some rain chances as that weak front approaches. And then the 7-day planner shows that it's going to move through Thursday night going into Friday, but plenty of sunshine expected for the weekend as temperatures climb well into the 80s through the rest of the 7-day planner. So the only chance of rain is Thursday and Friday before our next system way late next week. And here's a quick look at some of the winners we promised. We've been talking about the 529 College Savings Day, and our winners include Donna from Ross, Nicole from Lincoln, Rachel from Grand Forks, Brandy from Washburn, and Jana from Dunn Center. So congratulations to those winners across our area.
Nice to see some sun too, Darrell. I'm in day 3 of mowing my lawn because of the rain, and by the time I get done, I'm going to have to start all over again.
The good news is there's going to be a lot of sunshine between right after you finish the second time.
I like it. Here's what's coming up next.
More women than men are lacing up and running. I'm Jamie Yukas in Woodbridge, New Jersey, with what's behind the trend.
Who runs the world? Girls and women. From short to long distances, women are now outnumbering men in races.
Jamie Yukis shows us why the shift is happening.
Jamie Yukis, CBS News, Woodbridge, New Jersey.
And she completed her first 10K about 3 months after her first 5K race. So she did it just last month. She finished her first full marathon.
That's impressive.
Wow.
Coming up in our 5 at 5, the latest on a shooting on the campus of UCLA. Now our 5 at 5. Classes have been canceled for the rest of the day at UCLA after what police say was a murder-suicide in an engineering building. Officials say the campus will reopen tomorrow. Today's shooting took place in an office. The bodies of 2 men were found. Police say one was the shooter and a gun was discovered. The shooting occurred the week before final exams at the school. People are still talking about the death of a gorilla at the Cincinnati Zoo over the weekend. Police are investigating the parents of the little boy who fell into the gorilla den, forcing authorities to take action. Some are blaming the zoo for not having better security around the enclosure. Flash flood warnings and watches cover much of Texas following downpours and flooding that prompted water rescues and left drivers stranded. The forecast calls for more rain over the next several days in the southeastern part of the state, which is already reeling from deadly flooding. Florida Governor Rick Scott says the state will experience a Zika disaster if federal authorities don't immediately provide money to help battle the virus. Scott sent a letter to President Obama. He said officials are trying to ensure that mosquitoes in Florida don't start transmitting the virus. And activists are denouncing a decision by federal officials to bring no charges in the shooting death of a 24-year-old black man by 2 white Minneapolis police officers. The head of the Minneapolis NAACP asks why people must tolerate assault and battery at the hands of police. A federal prosecutor announced today that federal officials won't bring charges in the November death of a 24-year-old Jamar Clark. He cited insufficient evidence. Up next on KX News at 5, a Pennsylvania golf course experiences a unique hazard.